Let's assign this thought a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, with the lowest energy thought of 1 representing a nervous breakdown and a 10 representing enlightened, peaceful mastery. Next, you need to note the thoughts you have that support your desire for a peaceful, stress-free life. Thoughts such as, I'm overwhelmed. I've never have enough time. I have so many people wanting so many things from me that I don't even have enough time to think. I have so much more on my plate than I can handle. And I feel pressured by my need to make money to pay my bills. Aren't balanced and peaceful. These thoughts are resistant energy, which counters the desire for a peaceful, stress-free existence. In other words, they're non-aligned and out of balance. Your desire may be a 10, but your mental energy in this situation is in a much lower range, perhaps a 2 or 3. About balancing your dreams with your habits. 2 quotes, one from James Allen. Quote, the greatest achievement was at first and for a time a dream. The oak sleeps in the acorn, the bird sleeps in the egg, and in the highest vision of the soul, a waking angel stirs. Dreams are the seedlings of realities, unquote. And from Ernest Holmes, quote, true imagination is not fanciful daydreaming, it is fire from heaven, unquote. One of the huge imbalances in life is the disparity between your daily existence with its routines and habits and the dream you have deep within yourself of some extraordinarily satisfying way of living. In the quote that opens this chapter, James Allen poetically explains that the dream is the magical realm out of which newly created life emerges. Buried within you is an unlimited capacity for creation, what Allen calls a waking angel that's anxious to plant seedlings to fulfill your dreams and your destiny. I simply couldn't resist adding the Ernest Holmes quote describing this dynamic imagination as, quote, fire from heaven, unquote. They're both appropriate invitations and reminders that you need to tend to that burning fire, the dream within you, if living a balanced life is important to you. How does this balance show up in your life? This absence of balance between dreams and habits may be very subtle. It doesn't necessarily reveal itself in the obvious symptoms of heartburn, depression, illness, or anxiety. It's more often something that feels like an unwelcome companion by your side, which continually whispers to you that you're ignoring something. There's some often unidentifiable task or experience that you sense as part of your beingness. It may seem intangible, but you can feel the longing to be what you are intended to be. Your sense that there's a higher agenda, your way of life, and your reason for life are out of balance. Until you pay attention, this subtle visitor will continue to prod you to regain your equilibrium. Think of a balance scale with one side weighted down and the other side up, like a teeter-totter with an obese child on one end and a skinny kid on the other. In this case, the heavy end that tips the scale out of balance is the overweight kid representing your everyday behaviors, the work you do, the place where you reside, the people with whom you interact, your geographic location, the books you read, the movies you see, and the conversations that fill up your life. It's not that any of these things are bad in and of themselves. The imbalance exists because they're unhealthy for your particular life. They simply don't mesh with what you've imagined yourself to be. When it's unhealthy, it's wrong, and on some level, you feel that. When you live your life going through the motions, it may seem to be convenient, but the weight of your dissatisfaction creates a huge imbalance in the only life you have, now. You're perplexed by the ever-present gnawing feeling of dissatisfaction that you can't seem to shake that pit-of-the-stomach sensation of emptiness. It shows up when you're sound asleep and your dreams are filled with reminders of what you'd love to be, but you wake and return to pursuing your safe routine. Your dreams are also demanding your attention in waking life when you're petulant and argumentative with others, because in actuality, you're so frustrated with yourself that you try to relieve the pressure by venting anger outward. Imbalance masquerades as a sense of frustration with your current lifestyle. If you allow yourself to think about this fire from heaven, you proceed to rationalize your status quo with explanations and mental meanderings that you know in your heart are excuses because you don't think you have the tools to get in balance. You may get to a point where you become increasingly hard on yourself and begin seeking medication and other treatments for feelings of inadequacy and for what's called depression. You'll surely witness yourself feeling more and more angry and moody with more frequent occurrences of minor afflictions such as colds, headaches, and insomnia. As time goes on in this state of imbalance, there's less enthusiasm for what has become the drudgery of life. Work is now even more routine, with even less purpose and drive. These blahs begin appearing in your behavior towards your family and those you love. You're easily agitated, picking on others for no apparent reason. If you're able to be honest with yourself, you recognize that your irritability stems from being out of balance with the bigger dream you've always had, but which is now apparently slipping away. When these subtle symptoms surface, it's crucial to explore the kind of energy you're giving to the scale to create balance, or, in this case, imbalance. The heavy angst is weighing down your reason for being. But you are the only one who can rebalance the scale of your life. Here are some tools to help you return to a balanced life, beginning with recognizing the ways in which you may be sabotaging yourself. Mental energy that makes the manifestations of your dreams impossible. Your desire to be and live from greatness is an aspect of your spiritual energy.
In order to create balance in this area of your life, you have to use the energy of your thoughts to harmonize with what you desire. Your mental energy attracts what you think about. Thoughts that pay homage to frustration will attract frustration. When you say or think anything resembling, "There's nothing I can do, my life is spun out of control and I'm trapped," that's what you'll attract. That is resistance to your highest desires. Every thought of frustration is like purchasing a ticket for more frustration. Every thought that agrees that you're stuck is asking the universe to send you even more of that glue to keep you stuck. The single most important tool to being in balance is knowing that you and you alone are responsible for the imbalance between what you dream your life is meant to be and the daily habits that drain life from that dream. You can create a new alignment with your mental energy and instruct the universe to send opportunities to correct this imbalance. When you do so, you discover that while the world of reality has its limits, the world of your imagination is without boundaries. Out of this boundless imagination comes the seedlings of a reality that's been crying out to be restored to a balanced environment, restoring the balance. The objective of this principle is to create a balance between dreams and habits. The least complicated way to begin is to recognize the signs of habitual ways of being and then learn to shift your thinking to being in balance with your dreams. So what are your dreams? What is it that lives within you that never ever has gone away? What inner night light continues to glow, even if it's only a glimmer in your thoughts and dreams? Whatever it is, however absurd it may seem to others, if you want to restore the balance between your dreams and your habits, you need to make a shift in the energy that you're contributing to your dreams. But if you're out of balance, it's primarily because you've energetically allowed your habits to define your life. Those habits and the consequences thereof are the results of the energy you've given them. In the early stages of the rebalancing process, concentrate on this awareness. You get what you think about, whether you want it or not. Commit to thinking about what you want, rather than how impossible or difficult that dream may seem. Give your personal dreams a place to hang out on the balance scale so that you can see them in your imagination and they can soak up the energy they deserve. Thoughts are mental energy. They're the currency that you have to attract what you desire. You must learn to stop spending that currency on thoughts you don't want. Even though you may feel compelled to continue your habitual behavior, your body might continue for a while to stay where it's been trained to be. But meanwhile, thoughts are being aligned with your dreams.
112 million people in America take medication for stress-related symptoms, which include fatigue, heart palpitations, indigestion, diarrhea, constipation, nervousness, excessive eating, rashes, nail biting, loss of appetite, insomnia, anxiety, irritability, panic, moodiness, memory lapses, the inability to concentrate, ulcers, obsessive-compulsive behavior, feeling upset, and on goes an almost inexhaustible list. And they're all caused by something that doesn't exist in the physical world. Being out of balance on this stress measure results in being one of the millions of people requiring medication to manage the symptoms listed above. It means that you often feel exasperated because you never really enjoy the life you work so hard to achieve. You may frequently feel as if you're spending your life running on an endless treadmill. All of the pressure of working and striving may have many worldly rewards, yet at the same time, there's a feeling of going absolutely nowhere. If this sounds familiar, it's a signal to begin reconsidering ways of processing thoughts about your life and work and start pursuing freedom from the symptoms of stress by becoming more balanced. Getting into balance isn't necessarily about changing your behavior. Certainly you can pursue stress-reducing activities such as meditation, exercise, walks along a beach, or whatever might work for you. But if you continue to align yourself with achieving more, defeating the other guy, winning at all costs, and going faster because you believe that's how to keep up, then you're guaranteed to attract the vibrational equivalent of this thinking into your life, even if you do yoga and stand on your head chanting mantras every day. Stress reduction is about realignment. You become what you think about all day long. You also become how you think all day long. To measure the weight of your thoughts, you need to think in terms of vibration and energy. Let's suppose that you have a high-frequency desire to be a person who has no symptoms of stress. Let's assign this thought a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, with the lowest energy thought of 1 representing a nervous breakdown and a 10 representing enlightened, peaceful mastery. Next, you need to note the thoughts you have that support your desire for a peaceful, stress-free life. Thoughts such as, I'm overwhelmed, I've never have enough time, I have so many people wanting so many things from me that I don't even have enough time to think, I have so much more on my plate than I can handle, and I feel pressured by my need to make money to pay my bills, aren't balanced and peaceful. These thoughts are resistant energy, which counters the desire for a peaceful, stress-free existence. In other words, they're non-aligned and out of balance. Your desire may be a 10, but your mental energy in this situation is in a much lower range, perhaps a 2 or 3. Simply changing your behavior isn't going to get you back into balance. You're still attracting symptoms of stress when you say no to people and their demands, but vibrate to a frequency that's thinking, I really should be doing what they ask of me, or maybe I can squeeze in their requests a little bit later on if I adjust my schedule. You may have pulled back from an overly full and frenzied schedule, yet you continue to radiate thoughts of fear and scarcity that will activate the law of attraction to bring you fear and scarcity. If stress thoughts are tipping the scale, that's what the law of attraction brings. Remember, you become what you think about. If you're thinking scarcity or anger or fear, guess what? That's what the law of attraction attracts. Even with a well-balanced schedule that allows for more free time and even with plenty of stress-reducing activities on your pared-down personal calendar, if you fail to align your thoughts with the success you're capable of attracting, the weight of the dominant thoughts will tip the scale away from a balanced life. How you live your daily life will remain out of balance, and you'll have failed to assimilate the essence of Gandhi's advice that there's more to life than increasing its speed. What you most need to learn is how to create a match between what it is that you desire in your life and what thoughts or vibrational energy you're choosing to attract those desires. Realigning your point of attraction, the art of becoming. Here's one of my favorite quotes from my teacher in India, Nisargadatta Maharaj. Quote, there is nothing to do, just be. Do nothing. Be. No climbing mountains and sitting in caves. I do not even say be yourself, since you do not know yourself. Just be. Unquote. This idea may contradict everything you've been taught and how you've lived so far, but let it sink in anyway. If your lifetime inventory of ideas and rules has contributed to your being one of those 112 million who use medication to handle non-existent stress, you can certainly afford to entertain this thought. As you begin practicing the principles to realign with a vibration that matches your desire for a tranquil, peaceful life, you'll become more conscious of your thoughts. These thoughts of yours literally determine who you are, and the fact that you're listening to these words suggests that you're interested in becoming more conscious of your thoughts. Being and becoming are used synonymously here. In order to restore a sense of balance between your desire for tranquility and your desire to meet the requirements of your life,